Hi, everybody. Welcome to Home Free, our Christmas special. I have Wendy here with me, our inspector from CNY Inspections. Hi,
Preferred
Wendy.
Inspections.
Oh, I'm sorry, CNY Preferred Inspections.
Preferred
That's right.
Home Inspections.
Give them the whole name.
CNY Preferred Home Inspections.
Thank you very much. And Wendy is one of the best inspectors in the area. That's why she's sitting here, and she's going to give us some Christmas tips on safety. So what things should we be conscious of as we're kind of setting up our trees and getting ready for all the festivities?
You know, I think one of the biggest things are the electrical fires this time of year. Everybody's running extension cords, and when you can't make that extra 2 feet, typically they'll take an extension cord, add in a power strip to it, and before you know it, you've got multiple things connected. It's just a bad situation. If you have an extension cord, if you're going to run an extension cord, plan the length you're going to run it. Go buy the appropriate cord length. That way things don't overheat. Another thing, this time of year, carbon monoxide. You know, there's a lot of people talking about carbon monoxide, especially if you're looking at a new house. If you have an existing house, they do go bad. They should be replaced periodically. But for some reason, people think that they have to be set at a certain height.
And I did, actually, and you set me straight on this, because I always thought the gas is heavy, so it had to be low to the ground. You know, and then you see the combination, and I'm like, well, what the hell are they thinking? So finally I thought, well, Jesus, I should ask somebody who knows more than I do. And I asked you, to which you said?
It truly comes down to manufacturer instruction. If you buy some of the smaller alarms, they plug in the wall.
Right.
Your outlets are lower. If you have a higher outlet, great. The bottom line, it doesn't matter if it's on the ceiling and the 2-in-1 detectors, or if it's on the wall, or if it's, you know, sitting on the floor, wherever you put it. The myth to dispel is that the carbon monoxide will actually distribute evenly in the space. So anywhere it's placed, and placement is the key, the true key to it. A lot of people, they don't know where to put them, and you want to place them in accordance with how you would place a smoke alarm. You want them to be heard when they go off. So near bedrooms. Bedrooms are, you know, in the hallway right before the bedroom, split between 2 bedrooms, things like that. So really those would be the 2 big things. This time of year, furnaces are running like crazy. It's cold out. So there's an opportunity for buildup and backdraft and all kinds of things happening. So if you don't have a carbon monoxide detector, you should get one. $20, Home Depot, Lowe's.
I know when we first got one, my mother actually bought it for me. And they had just first come into, you know, you need this, and I'm like, whatever. So my mother buys me one. We take it out of the package and it starts going off. I'm like, well, it's broken. So I back to Home Depot I go with this broken carbon monoxide detector, and I get a brand new one, bring it home, open the package, pop the battery in, and it starts going off again. And I'm like, well, what the hell? So I called one of my friends in the fire department, and of course everyone shows up because I was tended bar at the local bar at the time. So all of the guys show up, and National Grid and everything. We had a gas stove downstairs, and the front of it was cracked. And then also our boiler was going into the chimney, but the thimble had fallen into the chimney. So everything was just kind of pumping back out at us.
Absolutely.
So we really got lucky. I mean, to consider we had 2 major sources.
And that's the thing about carbon monoxide is it's you know, people have heard of radon. Radon's a little bit, it's known. It's getting more known as we go. But neither one of them is, you can't smell it, you can't see it. It takes something else to detect it. And, you know, with carbon monoxide, you'll start to get symptoms, which is convenient. But
headache, dizziness.
Yeah, similar to flu symptoms. The concern is most people think, oh, I'm not feeling well. And you have this major problem in a house that's affecting your kids, your dogs. And that's where a lot of the mortality rate, that's where that factors in, is that they just keep thinking, oh, I just don't feel good.
Or there's a flu bug going around the house.
So, you know, it's great that your mom was pushy at that point. Mothers being mothers. But yeah.
Yeah, and we locked out because it was the beginning of the season.
The cold season.
The winter season. And so, you know, it wasn't really running too much, but.
Summertime, the windows are open. The
you
house
think
is
about
breathing.
It's so scary.
Yeah, it really
so
is.
Scary.
And especially when you think of elderly folks, their smell is kind of off anyway.
Right.
Not that it would matter, but they're not going to notice, if your stove's on and you've got a gas leak, you might notice that. They're already offset not to really detect that.
Right.
So yeah, it's an extra safety precaution. It's a very inexpensive precaution.
Right. Yeah. Because $20, $30.
Tops.
They're
I mean,
really,
they go up. You can get them.
Well,
for,
yeah, but I mean, if you just need to get one,
Sure.
$20.
Absolutely, and every house should have at least one.
Yeah, I agree.
At least one.
I agree.
Especially if you have gas appliances. If you're all electric, obviously not such a big deal, but if you have gas in your house, even if it goes to one item, you should have a carbon monoxide detector.
Because you have the risk.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good information. Good information. Any more tips for the holiday safety?
Make sure to buy presents that you think the person who's going to get them is going to like them. If you
Yeah,
buy what
that
you
will
like.
keep you from getting your ass kicked.
Yes, yes. There are certain Christmas tree safety gift giving, but really the big ones.
Yeah, the electrical and
electrifiers. It's amazing right now. I've got some friends that are firefighters, and both of them, they're in different stations, said that at least once a night, up to and upwards of a couple times a night, they will go on carbon monoxide runs. And they have special equipment that will immediately detect. But she said it's every single shift. The one I was talking to the other day, she said every single shift she's getting at least 1 to 5 calls a night.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really a big issue.
Well, and thank God that the detectors are so available. Because like I said, I'm probably talking 20 years ago. It was just one of these things that they had just started talking about them. Of course, it's like a smoke detector. So now my mother,
Right.
How lucky, though.
Do you have them? How many do you have, and where are they?
You don't have one? Oh, I'm getting you one right now.
That was your Christmas present that year.
Yeah, what a present. I'm like, wow.
Mommy bought me a broken one.
Oh, God, how funny, though. So radon, too. Should that be checked every so often? Because I know that can shift as well.
Yeah, so a lot of people, they've been in their house for 20 years. There are multiple ways to do it. You can call a home inspector, have them come do it for you. You can call a mitigation company, have them come do it for you. You can even go down to Lowe's, Home Depot. I think they sell these little kits with these little vials, and you can do it yourself. It's not a bad idea if you've never had the test performed or if you can't remember to go ahead and just do it. They're not expensive, but at the end of the day, radon is one of those things. It's decaying uranium. It's all around us. It's everywhere we go. The problem is when it becomes concentrated in a small space, say a basement.
Right.
Maybe your workshop's in the basement. You spend a significant amount of time down there. And at that point, that's when you can be subject to the ill effects of it. I was reading somewhere the other day, I'm trying to think what it was, but it said something to the effect of exposure to radon at 4 picocuries, which is how it's measured. I think it takes like 44 years for that particle to turn into essentially a lead particle in your lungs. That's an amazing amount of time.
Yeah.
44 years. If you've had an extreme exposure to something, you think about what they say as far as, I think lung cancer is number 1, radon's number 2.
Right.
Or what was it? Cigarette smoking was number 1 for lung cancer.
Yeah, and radon's the number 2 cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, if you can, or haven't recently, and since you've owned your residence,
right,
you might test for it. You might just see, especially if you're down in the basement. And for people that are on slabs, it's the same principle. It's just in the main house.
Yeah, and people think that I've had people say, well, it's on slab, you can't have radon. And I'm like, well, you're incorrect, because I happen to know houses that are on slab that have mitigation systems in them.
Absolutely.
But yeah, radon is definitely something that I think so many people overlook. I mean, one of the highest one I can remember of houses that I've had, represented the buyer was 46.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, it was significant.
Right.
And I knew it was in an area
but
that
it's
was
fixable.
Right, and it was.
Right.
It was. PM Carabin, Phil, came over. He sealed the basement, put in the system. It did take, and Phil's usually pretty good. He usually gets it on the first shot, but this was so high that he had to go back. So
Did he?
Yeah,
2
but he
drops?
went twice, and had to add the second in.
My house that I moved from a couple of years ago, didn't even know it, tested at 27.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and my home gym was down in the basement, so I'm down there huffing and puffing. So yeah, it's...
Well, this was years ago before you were an inspector, right? So you wouldn't have...
This was I think I'd been an inspector. I think I was just starting through.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about it at the time, typical, average Joe.
Oh, yeah. Well, I look back at real estate that I've bought before I was a realtor, and I'm like...
Yeah. It's amazing the things you learn.
What was I thinking? I didn't know anything.
Especially when you learn how to test and you learn how to look for certain things and you're looking for the symptoms, if you will. And some people, what's funny is after we had our house tested, of course, you're talking to your neighbors and you're like, oh my gosh. And you start asking around. Well, our neighbor across the street, radon's really kind of, it's a weird thing. This house can be high. The house next door, nothing. The house next door, high. The house next door, nothing.
Yeah, it goes in little pockets.
It's veins. Yeah. It really is. And the guy across the street from us, he's like, oh yeah, I think I've got one of those mitigation, whatever they are. I think I have one of those things. I said, well, is it working? Because you don't have one just to have one.
No,
they're not a fashion statement.
Keep working.
Yes, it's a tool. It's there for a reason. He says, oh yeah, it was making this awful noise, so I shut it off.
No, you don't shut it off.
Now, his wife is a cancer survivor.
Oh, geez.
I'm like, turn it on. Turn it on, please.
If you need a new fan, go get a new fan.
Right.
They can be serviced.
Yes. So, and they're really easy to read,
and they have
too.
monitors.
Yeah, exactly.
You
the
have
little
a
hourglass.
Hourglass.
Doohickey, yeah. Yeah, they're really easy. As long as it's not level, you're good.
Yeah, and some you can put an alarm on,
True.
which is nice. I mean, just an added layer. But, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it
just turned it off.
Yeah, just click. We're done. We're good. It's kind of funny because in my house, I had some work done recently, and we have one in our new house, and there's certain things, as you're walking through the house, and maybe it's just because this is what I do. I listen for noises, and when something's slightly too quiet, I get really freakish.
Yeah.
Like I start walking around looking at things. Exactly. And they had done some electrical work, and I don't know if they just bumped the breaker or whatever happened, but ours had been off, and immediately I'm like, so. But anyway, and usually regardless, if it shuts off, if your power's out for a couple days, just turn it back on. Yeah. Everything will flow out. You can open up some windows if you'd like, just to make yourself feel better, whatever, but it will dissipate. And it will, clear itself out. So
I tend to, I touch them when I walk by to feel the fan
vibration.
Running. Yeah, so I can feel the fan running.
I never thought about it. I always watch the glass.
No, see, I always touch it just to feel it, so that way I know, I'm sure that it's working.
If I'm outside,
that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like every house.
Huh.
People will look at me like I'm crazy.
What are you doing?
Just walking over and touching the pipe. Like,
I'm a touchy-feely kind of girl, just touching it.
I just got to know that it's working. Makes me feel
vibration.
Better.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so those are...
I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about you. Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree won't be the same, dear, if you're not here with me. And when those blue snowflakes start falling, that's when those blue memories start falling. You'll be doing alright with your Christmas and white, but I'll have a blue Christmas. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about you. Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree won't if you're not here with me. And when those blue snowflakes start falling, that's when those blue memories start falling. You'll be doing alright with your Christmas away, but I'll have a blue, blue Christmas. That's it.
Some biggies and wells. I mean, wells. You should test for those every so
absolutely.
often too. I oh my gosh, you have no idea how many people that have been in their house 10, 15, 20 years, and it's like, have you ever had your water tested? Yep, when we first moved in.
A lot can happen.
It's
a
like,
lot can
oh,
happen.
God.
I noticed a lot of the wells around here, they have a non-sanitary cap.
Mm-hmm.
And call it what you will, a person can walk by, a lawnmower can hit it, and it'll knock the cap off.
And anything can...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Debris can fall down.
Animals can get in there and die.
Exactly. So for the homeowners that have these, these well pipes, some of them stick up higher than others,
Mm-hmm.
It's really important that you check that periodically just to make sure that it's sealed. Get the non-sanitary cap. Basically, it has 4 screws or 4 bolts at the top, and there's nothing going in there. It takes a wrench to get into that thing. As where the other ones, like I said, they can knock themselves loose. Even I've seen some of the dug wells that have the big concrete.
Yes.
Those can be moved. They deteriorate as concrete. It gets a crack, and then the ice and our freeze-thaw cycle.
Yeah.
It's just not a bad idea to periodically check them.
Yeah, more often than not, I see it, they're shifted so that you have a few inches.
Absolutely.
No idea what they were doing with the well, but they just moved it, and they didn't want to move it back because those things are heavy.
They are, exactly. It's probably the kids playing, and 5 kids on one side. Let's see if we can move it.
We'll get in there.
Yeah, they do.
Scary though, with everything they can get in there.
It is, but you know what? Again, it's a fixable thing,
Right.
and you can take a water sample down. Usually, just take a bottle of water, run your tap. You can bleach it. If you kind of on your own, it can be dangerous because some people don't realize they have a plastic fixture. You can run a flame under it to kind of sanitize it so you get a good solid flow.
Right.
A clean mix of water. But just cap it, take it down to the water authority. You can take it to Verona.
Within 24 hours, right?
Yeah, and keep it cool.
Yeah.
And they can test it for you. It's not terrible.
No.
But it's definitely a worthwhile because
it's very inexpensive. I've taken countless water samples.
But just the bacteria, the stomach bug coming from E. coli, no thanks. Or coliform, no thank you.
Right.
Yeah, so.
And how often do you recommend people test their wells?
Oh, I would probably go yearly.
Yeah.
I mean, it also depends. The deeper, if you have the sanitary cap,
right.
If you have a drilled well, there's less chance for contamination.
Right.
But the shallower the well, and like I said, how it is on the surface, if it's an older version, I would say at least a year.
Okay.
If you start noticing the family's getting sick and they're all kind of catching the same thing, that might be an option. So
maybe check the batteries in your CO2 detector and test the water.
Take a round around the house and see what you find.
Yeah, see what's going on.
So make it a family thing. But yeah, so and that's another thing, smoke alarms. So those have about I believe it's like a 10-year tops on them, and you need to start physically removing them and putting a new one in there. Not just a battery change, but
the whole unit.
A migration, yes.
And again, they're not expensive.
No.
I think you can find them for $10.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're like really cheap.
Yeah. Some people get a little daunted by the fact that there's plugs in. Again, they don't have to plug in. That's just another option. A lot of them, it's very simple. It's a pigtail. Pop it apart, twist it off, drop it, pop it apart, put the new one up. They plug right back in. It's a universal pigtail. So just little things to keep your home safer, to keep your family safer.
It's worth it.
It is.
It's definitely
really
worth
is.
it.
When you think
too many accidents happen that are
and some
needless.
of them are devastating.
Oh God.
Absolutely devastating. So
I agree.
But yeah.
Stay safe. Stay safe.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the one where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I don't know. Something like that.
So speaking of family, let's talk a little bit about your wife, who's been in real estate a little while now.
Yes, she has.
Now, I know it's not easy being married to a realtor. We have kind of crazy schedules.
Yes. Yes, you do.
Has it been a little bit of an adjustment?
You know, it hasn't been bad. It really hasn't. You know, she'll come out and we'll be hanging out by the pool. You know, in the summertime we were hanging out by the pool, and then all of a sudden, and she'll be in her suit, and then all of a sudden she's gone, and okay, I'll see you in an hour. She's dressed and out she goes. So, you know, it really hasn't been bad. And our friends, we socialize a lot. We always have friends over. And we're just all kind of on board with each other, like one big happy family, that she comes and goes as she pleases. And by the way, I don't cook, so y'all are bringing food. So no, it's been great though.
That's good. That's good.
She's loving it.
I'm hoping so, because she's awesome.
Yeah.
We love having her.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, it's a tough job sometimes.
Yeah.
It can wear on you.
I definitely see, you know, she has some huge challenges learning
Right.
and trying to, there's so much information,
Oh, yeah.
so many things you need to know. And, you know, situations where you have a new person and another new realtor and they come together and then you have problems.
Right.
You know, so that can be a challenge, but it's awesome. The Property Sisters, they just fall in around her. Anything, everything, lift her up and
We love her.
keep her on path. It's
She's family.
amazing.
She's a quick learner.
Yeah.
She's actually keeping us in check a little bit.
It's that business mentality of hers.
It is. Oh my gosh, she has like knocked us into charts and graphs.
Oh,
and
there's more coming.
There's Excel. I know this morning she's like, I need your full date of birth, your mother's maiden name. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Just send it to her, like not even a question. I'm like, whatever. What's she
Wait till you
gonna
get your
do?
first action plan.
Oh, God.
And her follow-up. Why isn't this done? You committed to this last week.
We've already gotten now for team meetings on Mondays, I'm going to need five items that you want to talk about, 5 ideas. And I go, I sold 4 houses. I can't think of 5 ideas too. I'm like tired.
She's a game changer in that regard.
She's
she
awesome.
really is.
She is. She's keeping us kind of in check, bringing us back to the things that we were doing.
Yeah.
You know, like when we first started, and that is like very eye-opening. You know, it's like, well, why don't I do that anymore? You know,
and that's what it comes back to. You know, some of the simple things. You speak of it in business. I speak of it in home ownership.
right.
It's just setting a routine, having the same routine. Yes, all hell can break loose in a day.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you stay on your
task,
plan, it works out. It really does.
Yeah.
And it'll help each other.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's so much like she gets our experience, and then we get the fact that, okay, I'm talking over people because you know how many inspections do you go to and this and that, and you're like, okay, this is just blah 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 blah, and she slows me down a little bit to say, okay, this is how this is, this is how that is, instead of just matter-of-factly bing bang boom, because sometimes you forget because you do too many of them.
You do, and you just lose touch. You know, I don't know how else to say it.
Right, yeah.
It happens in all styles of operation and work. You just, even with home inspections, what's easy peasy to me, to another person, they're looking at, what's a screw, you want me to, is that the plus sign or the minus sign? You know? And you have to stay rooted. So it's, it seems like it's a really great balance with you guys. Like I said, I've never seen her so happy and so excited, and just...
That means the world.
It is.
That means the world.
It is. And I thank you guys so much for just taking her in and
Well, we thank you for
and
giving her to us, because, I mean, we're scooping her off to, you know, conferences and classes down in Atlantic City for 5 days. And
that was the greatest thing ever. Like
she, oh my gosh, she is still glowing over it.
She calls me, so everybody's like, how's Joelle doing? Where's Joelle? How are you doing? Are you eating? I'm like, I'm fine, I'm good. And she called me up, I think it was the second night she was there. I said, so how's things going? You know, how were your meetings and whatever? And she goes, oh my God, I am so glad. I'll call you back. And we're the type that we talk. When she's out of town, we talk constantly.
Yeah.
I didn't hear from her. I barely got a text message from her.
Yeah, it was too much fun.
She was having a ball and learning. She was so fired up when she came back. She's like, Addie has all this stuff. And da-da-da-da. I'm like,
well,
you go, girl.
I know how she is. And I'm a little bit of an education junkie.
Yes.
So when I signed up, I bought all of the sessions, all of the playback. So I knew when I sent that to her. Yeah, she was like more excited about that than I think even getting into real estate.
That was Christmas, yes.
Yeah. She was so much fun.
So
I love it. She's like a sponge.
Yes, absolutely.
She loves to learn, which is crucial. That's what'll make her good, because she cares and she loves to learn. So she'll stay on top of the game. She'll make sure she's educated to protect people, which is crucial for us.
Absolutely. And that is one of the really cool things. So her previous life, you know, your best day is just getting through the day. It's survival.
Right.
And now she's in a place where she's helping people accomplish their dreams.
She's not just surviving, I think.
Yeah, she's, you know, she comes home, she'll have a deal, she'll go to a closing. Even on bad days, when something goes a little sideways, knowing that she's helping someone and helping them accomplish something that's really big and really important to them, there's fulfillment in that. And she's never really had that before until now.
Yeah. My husband kind of says the same thing.
Yeah.
He says, even on your worst day in real estate, you're happier than your best day.
Yes.
You know, doing whatever else.
Yes.
And it's true. It's true. Even the bad days are good, because they get you to a better place, either one way or the other. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So we can have her for like the next...
Oh, she's yours.
Okay, perfect.
She's yours.
I was worried about that. We'd wear out our welcome.
She's yours. She's yours. So.
Oh, she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I wish she could be here today, but...
Yeah, she's not feeling well.
Well, you know, the stomach bugs and the flus that are going around.
Yes, and it's like... It's legit, I think.
Yeah. I was talking to her. She's like airborne and...
Yeah.
Poor thing.
And I still can't cook, so she's screwed. As simple as that. I'll order out and pick up on the way home.
She bought soup. She's okay.
Oh, did she?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
she must have picked some up on the way. She's going to live.
She's a smart girl. She's a smart girl. She knows even that's a little bit of a challenge for me. One time I served her, I went to, I don't know, soup is complicated. You buy soup in a normal can, you just dump it in, heat it up, poof, you're done, right?
Oh, God. You're talking about canned soup.
Canned soup. I don't make, no.
Okay.
No, that is, I know my limitations. Canned soup is one of them. So she said, I'd really like some chicken noodle soup. I said, well, all we have is this Campbell's stuff that's in here. So I dump it out, heat it up, give it to her. She takes
You didn't put water in it.
No. Who reads directions? There should not be directions for soup. Soup should be open the can, put it in the bowl. There you go. Throw it in the microwave, whatever you got to do.
Microwave even.
Yeah, I mean,
Wendy,
you know,
Wendy.
I'm an instant gratification kind of girl. Throw it in the microwave. Give it a minute and a half, and we're good. Yeah.
Yep.
That's how I roll.
You cook like a man.
Yep, pretty much. Maybe
no
one
wonder
step
she
above.
cooks.
Yeah, absolutely. That was part of our wedding vows.
Yeah.
It was included in there. I'm not kidding. I'm absolutely not kidding.
You made her write it in?
It was probably more voluntary than anything, because she knows she would starve.
Yeah, that's true.
So
she likes to cook for you.
She does.
It makes her happy.
She does. She likes to cook in general.
Yeah.
The only thing I think that is, I'm going to say this loosely, better is when my mother-in-law cooks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because she'll throw her elbow into it a little bit. So, yeah.
Oh, Joel's not got her elbow into it yet.
No, she does. She's an amazing cook. I literally, when I moved up here, I gained 30 pounds within the first 3 months.
Oh, that's a good
literally
cook.
Put on just like...
That's a good cook.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
That's right. Keep you fat and happy.
That's right.
That's a good wife.
That is a very good wife. If you're not gaining weight, we got problems.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
That's what I say to my husband. He's always saying, oh, I need to go on a diet. I need to do that. And I'm like, you're going to make me look like a bad wife.
True story.
I may never be home to cook for you, but other people don't know that.
Exactly. And it's all about show. At the end of the day, it's how people perceive.
Who's going to walk around with a skinny husband? How embarrassing. Oh. I'm Irish. I can't do that shit.
As I said, her favorite thing is, you ever seen a skinny guinea? I just laugh. I'm like, huh? Because, I'm West Coast.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't get it. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Utica thing.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Uticanese, it's a language.
It is.
It truly is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we've got our own things for everything. The gabagoo is the capicole, scarole is escarole.
Yeah. Instant Italian. Drop the last vowel and take off a consonant.
Oh, yeah,
boom,
absolutely.
You're there.
Bang.
So here's the funny thing. So I'm one of those people, if I'm around somebody that has an accent, at some point, if I'm around them long enough, I will start to pick up that accent.
Because you
just subconsciously hear it, and I'll,
Mm-hmm.
So when I first moved up here, we were with her parents a lot, and her mom, she's constantly popping in a swear word or something, and one of her, like, she'd be mange. So I found that I would be talking to people, and all of a sudden these words would start popping out.
And you don't even know what they are.
No, I have no clue, but I'm saying them somehow in context. Her mom, I'll be talking to her, I'll poof. Proud of you. Just funny.
I do that with Lori, but I mispronounce them so bad that she just turns around and gives me the look.
Stop.
Like she's like,
just stop, Addie. Just stop.
I'm like, whatever.
That's right. It's
Whatever.
effort. Effort counts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So then I'll go home and I'll be like, honey, how do I say that again? Hold on, I got to say it like 4 or 5 times so I can tell Lori tomorrow.
Yeah. No. Hooked on Phonics does not work with other languages.
No, not at all. Mm-mm. Not at all. Every time we go to the Dominican, I say I'm going to come home and learn Spanish, and still I go back knowing only the swear words.
Well, those are important.
They are.
They're very important. My Spanish is limited to dinero, baño, cerveza. Well, that's about it. That's all I need.
So you're way ahead of me.
And the bathroom is, where my beer is, and
how way ahead of me.
¿Cuántos?
I'm just glad that they know what mimosa means.
Yeah, that's probably Spanish.
Yeah, let's hope.
It could be. Sounds
Maybe that's
Spanish.
why I think I'm like doing some big thing.
Yeah.
And it's a Spanish word that I know.
Possibly.
Smarter than I thought.
It happens.
So we have a musical guest coming on. So I want to thank you for joining me.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
And give your wife my love. I'll see her tomorrow at the meeting when she gives me my kicking ass, because I only have 4 of my 5 points.
Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks. All right. Thank you. We'll be right back.
So this is Christmas, and what have you done? Another year over, a new will just begun, and so this is Christmas. I hope you have fun, the near and the dear one, the old and the young. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any fear. So this is Christmas, for weak and for strong, for rich and for poor ones. The road is so long, And so happy Christmas for black and for white, for yellow and red ones. Let's stop all the fight. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any fear.
I want to thank you all for joining us for our first Disruption Network's Home Free Christmas Special. I also want to thank our sponsors, Nye Volkswagen of Rome and EJA Movers. Also, our special guests today, Wendy Sebastian-Dean and Alexis VonHertz. Thank you so much. If you're looking to make a donation this holiday season, we ask you to consider one of our favorite charities, Addie's Angels or the Utica Rescue Mission. Thank you so much, and we wish you a happy holidays.